an information session for ECE prospective students, whether you are master's or PhD applicants, and this is applicable to the upcoming admission cycle. So I've broken down the information session into 4 different pieces. In case some of you are not familiar with Rutgers University, I'll start with that, and then we'll talk about the department, and we'll talk about the different specializations within the department, and then how can you apply for admissions if this sounds something like that you have an interest. During the presentation, I encourage you to ask questions by writing them in the chat, or you can raise your hand and I can get in Zoom, and I can get to you. If some of the questions Miss Yu can also address on chat. So I do encourage you to engage with us so that we can clarify any confusion that you might have. Okay, so let's get to know Rutgers University New Brunswick a little bit in case you are not aware of the background of Rutgers University. Rutgers is one of the 8th oldest institutes of higher learning in the USA. It's one of only 9 colonial colleges. It was established 10 years before the independence of the US, and it includes peers in terms of age like Harvard University and Princeton University. Rutgers is referred to as public Ivy in the sense that it offers education as a public institution that matches and rivals that of Ivy institutes. It's also a Big Ten conference school, which includes other institutes such as University of Maryland, Minnesota, Purdue, Illinois, Wisconsin, Madison, among others. It's consistently ranked very highly in the national rankings. So among all universities in the US, it's ranked number 40. Among public universities, it's ranked number 15. If you're not familiar with New Jersey area, if you're not from here, Rutgers is right in the center or in central Jersey. Rutgers University has 3 campuses. We are here in the Rutgers University New Brunswick, which is a flagship campus. And we are about 50 minutes or so from New York City and the same distance away from Philadelphia. So it's a very good proximity where you can have professional opportunities, cultural opportunities, and so forth. It has a very vibrant student life. Different activities happen, 15-to-1 student-faculty ratio, and graduate enrollment of almost 15,000 graduate students, which has a perfect gender balance in terms of 50% male and 50% female students. So this is some of the background about Rutgers as a university. Let's now talk about the ECE department. It offers cutting-edge curriculum, which includes fields such as quantum computing, machine learning, semiconductor technology for AI. Rutgers or ECE department also allows you as a master's or PhD student to actually take courses at Princeton University as a graduate student without paying any extra tuition, and that gets counted towards your degree. We have advanced research labs, and we send our students into both industry and academia. Rutgers ECE department has been ranked number 14 in the global Shanghai ranking system. Our faculty, it's one of the most well-known faculty in the ECE area. We have a total of 36 faculty that includes 13 fellows of IEEE, 1 fellow of AAAS, 1 fellow of National Academy of Inventors. We just had another fellow inducted into the ACM Society. Our faculty have received various awards such as Career Award, DARPA Faculty Fellow Award, Young Investigator Awards. Our faculty on an average year get about $12 million in grants from the federal government, state government, and other industrial entities. In terms of the graduate student body, we have a total enrollment of about 215, which is about 112 master's students, 103 PhD students. We have 21% of our student body is women. We have about 64% are international, and of course 36% are domestic students. About 80 of our students are supported as either TAs or GAs. The rest are funded through various other sources. In last year, we offered 65 graduate degrees, including 20 PhD degrees, 41 master's degrees, and 4 masters with thesis degrees. So this is just a review of the graduate program and the ECE department. Now let's move on to specifics of what the graduate program entails, what kind of specializations you can have. And this is perhaps where you may want to ask questions. As I said earlier, for those who have joined later, feel free to post them on a chat or raise your hand on Zoom. Okay, so the Rutgers ECE department, our graduate program, offers 3 kinds of different degrees or programs. We have a master's degree, which includes thesis-based masters, non-thesis-based masters, which requires doing only a technical paper, along with a 3+2 master's option that we do with our partner institutes. We have the other degree we offer is PhD, which requires in-depth research and advanced knowledge gathering. And we also have graduate certificates. We have 3 graduate certificates in cybersecurity, machine learning, and socially cognizant robotics. Whether you are in your master's or PhD, you do get your degree in one of the specialization areas. We offer specializations in communications, networking, signal and information processing, computational sensing, machine learning, systems and control, computer engineering, cybersecurity, and solid-state electronics. At the PhD level, we have additional areas of networking, computational sensing, and cybersecurity that are only offered at the PhD level. And we also encourage our students to do cross-cutting specialization, so you can combine 2 specializations. So for example, a lot of our students do machine learning and systems and control because they're interested in machine learning and also robotics. So they do machine learning and computer engineering, for example. Some of our students do communication and signal and information processing. What this means is they have to come up with a curriculum plan that cuts across both specializations. In order to get a master's degree, details of this you can find in the graduate student handbook, which is in the link provided below, and Ms. Yu will also post it in the chat. But the master's degree, you can either do a thesis-based master's, which requires doing 24 credits or 8 courses, and also taking 6 credits of research and defending your thesis. The non-thesis option requires completing 30 credits. So in both cases, you have to complete 30 credits, but now all 30 come from courses, or 10 courses you have to do. You still have to get a minimum GPA of 3, and instead of thesis, you write a technical paper, which is typically a paper written out of a project from one of your graduate courses. The courses you have to pick based upon your specialization, which has a structure of a list of courses that you have to take to be able to say that you have fulfilled a specialization. One of the highlights of our graduate program is to the 4-credit internship program. So up to 6 credits out of the 30 credits can be obtained by doing a 4-credit internship program, whose purpose is to provide hands-on experience with industry projects and opportunities to develop skills in problem solving and improve your job prospects after post-graduation. There are certain requirements that you have to fulfill to get these credits. Typically, students get them in the summer. Students, whether they are thesis or non-thesis, they both are applicable to that. So students take 3 credits in one summer and 3 credits in another summer, or sometimes they do a co-op also. And this has been extremely beneficial for many of our master's students to gain this experience, which then leads them to jobs after they graduate. In terms of PhD degree requirements, they are focused on, of course, research. So the first thing is a student has to pick a research advisor. They have to choose a specialization area in consultation with their advisor, and in consultation with the advisor, they can also pick up multiple specialization areas, but that has to be done through them. It involves completing 72 credits, and the GPA requirement in that case is 3.5. The 72 credits, at least 36 have to come from courses, which means 12 courses. So remember, master's is 30. Some of our students who are doing PhD, they actually get the master's from those 30 credits. And the rest of the credits can be research. At least 24 have to be research. You can also decide to take more courses if you want. At 5 courses, the only thing that we require at the PhD level is that 5 courses have to be from a list that we prepare for you that you have to do to take your PhD qualifying exam. So PhD requires multiple steps, which I'm going to present. The first step is that within your second to third year, you take a qualifying exam where you prove that you can engage in independent research and the quality of research is high. After that, in your 4th year or so, you do a PhD proposal. And then in your 5th or 6th year, you do PhD dissertation. PhD dissertation is a public defense that you have to give. Further details can be found in the handbook, which Ms. Yu has already shared. So please refer to them. Okay, so typical timelines for our graduate master's and PhD degrees. Our master's degree typically takes about 18 months. Some students complete it in 18 months. So at the graduate level, we recommend that students take no more than 9 credits. Plus, they have to take 2 semesters of colloquium. So you can't finish it in less than 1 year. But we recommend students take 9 credits. So sometimes students do 9, 9, 9, and then 3 credits of summer internship. Some students do 9, 9, 9, and then 3 credits of 1 more semester. So it goes up to 2 years. A few students have done, instead of 9, they do 12, 12, and 6. So we don't recommend that again, but some students have done that. Thesis, the major goal in thesis is to focus on research in addition to courses. So thesis typically requires 2 years. We also have a 3+2 MS program for those who join us. That's also 2 years. And then internships, as we provided, 1 to 2 internships. PhD takes, on the other hand, 5 to 6 years with qualifying exam in the 2nd and 3rd year, proposal, 5th year, defense in the 5th or 6th year, internships. PhD students do internships in the either 3rd, 4th, and or 5th year. Okay, so that is about our graduate program details. We will be happy to address any questions that you may have about that. Let me move on to admissions. Based upon the questions that or what we have presented, if anything sounds interesting, then of course what you would want is to know what are the admissions, how do you get admission. So we have application deadline is specific to each semester. For fall, I will provide that. We do not require GRE for graduate program. If you are a non-native speaker and you have not gotten a degree in an English-speaking environment, then we do require TOEFL or IELTS, where the minimum scores are listed on the slide, but they are just suggestions. We do take scores below that based upon individual circumstances and individual evaluation. The graduate admissions website, it's listed here, and Ms. Yu is going to put that in the chat for you so that you can also look at it there. And you can figure out the more details you can find out on this graduate admissions website of our department. But in terms of deadlines for the fall semester, if you are a master's student, you are already in the US, then the early deadline is March 15th, and then we also accept applications up to May 15th. If you are a student who is not in the US, then your early deadline is March 15th again, but for the later deadline, instead of May 15th, we only accept up to April 15th. If you are a PhD student, our early deadline is January 15th, and our later deadline is May 1st for those who are in the US and April 1st for those who are residing outside the US. In terms of admission requirements, we need, for masters, we need a bachelor's degree. You need not have fully completed it, but you should be on track before you can join us. You must submit your final transcripts to us or to the graduate admissions office. We need a personal statement from you, your curriculum vitae, and 3 recommendation letters. There is no minimum GPA requirement, and you do not need to have a degree in ECE. We accept applications from physics, computer science, applied maths, and other areas as long as you pick a specialization area in which you feel you are qualified to handle the coursework. For PhD, the admissions is you have to have a bachelor's or master's. You can apply for PhD directly after your bachelor's. You do not need a master's. You need to submit a statement of purpose, but it needs to very specifically talk about any past research experiences and your research interests and your faculty within ECE that you might be interested in working with. We need your curriculum vitae that shows your experience involved in research, publications, if any, and relevant achievements. And we need recommendation letters, which at least one of them is from a faculty who can comment on your ability to do research. We do not again have a minimum GPA requirement, we do expect that in your statement you explain if your GPA is low, why that was, and how you plan on being able to manage our coursework. Again, there is no requirement that you have to have an ECE degree. You can come from physics background, computer science, applied math, and so forth, depending upon the area of specialization that you choose. So if any of this sounds interesting, we have already shared with you the graduate admissions website and the graduate student handbook link. You can also reach out to us by sending an email to ecegradprogram@soe.rutgers.edu if any of the things need clarification, and we'll be happy to provide that clarification. Our goal here is to make sure you fully understand what Rutgers has to offer, and based upon that, if you feel like you want to apply, we are here to help you obtain your admissions. So that is all the details that I wanted to discuss. I have talked about, for those who have joined late, about the Rutgers University as a whole, the ECE department, our program, what kind of degrees we offer, the kind of work that you do, and also what are the admission requirements. Now, I think this is now a good time that we engage in a more interactive discussion, because you may have questions that were not addressed in the presentation. And I think it's very useful that you clarify those, any confusion that you might have. We'll be happy to clarify those and help you make your decision. Okay, so at this stage, I'll hand it over to you folks to ask any question that you might have. So maybe people are just a little bit reluctant, but since we are such a small group of people, maybe I can just ask if people can just tell uh, their their background. Well, I have a question, so let me get over that, and then perhaps people can tell if what their aspirations are from this information session and what they are looking for. Okay. So the question is, how important is it for MS admission that my undergraduate research aligns with the department's current research interests? We do not expect for MS admissions, we do not expect that you have done any research. The master's is, you can come without research. You can decide whether you want to do thesis, non-thesis, none of that matters. It's only at the PhD level that we insist that you should have some research experience. So master's is primarily about gaining more knowledge. You may decide you don't want to do research. Many of our students never do research. They are interested in gaining more knowledge so that they are more employable in the job market. Other questions? So perhaps going back, I can, if people don't mind, I can call upon the names on the screen and see if you can clarify where you are from and what you are looking for. Okay, I have one more question. The handbook says students with a GPA greater than 3.7 for qual. Does that mean two letters? You are looking at a section of the handbook that does not apply to you. That is for what is called a Rutgers BS-MS program. And for that, you have to have done your bachelor's from Rutgers. So that does not apply to you, unfortunately.
There may be some BSMS students on the call, Wahid.
Okay. Okay. Well, I guess maybe this does not apply to the person asking the question. But if you are a BSMS student, then yes, your application does not. You do not submit the application through the usual route, and you only need recommendation letters if you are interested in a TAGA position or if your GPA is low. And if you are a BSMS applicant, the best idea is just you apply by email, and Miss Katie Yu will accept the application. So just email her at ecgradprogram@soe.rutgers.edu, and she will tell you what you need to submit. It's a very simple setup that you need to do. Okay. Okay, so Zareen Manita, if you don't mind just telling us where you are from and what you are home, and if the information session helped you gain the information that you are looking for. I guess I can't hear you, Zareen, but I have another question. What are qualities that the ECE department expects from prospective students who are interested in applying to the Rutgers ECE program? Rushika, are you referring to master's or PhD? Okay. So the most important quality is we want students who are passionate about learning, and they can demonstrate that they can handle our coursework. You don't have to have any PhD, any research experience, any of that, just your passion for learning. The passion for learning is not demonstrated through your undergraduate GPA because that could be low for many reasons. So that is demonstrated through your statement, your letters perhaps, right? So if you're passionate about learning and about technology, we are here to help you achieve your goals of learning. That is what we focus on. In addition, there are other qualities. Of course, we look for people who will actually take maximum advantage of what our department has to offer in terms of all activities, whether social or other learning-based or research-based. But those are the primary qualities that we expect. Any other questions? Doreen, did your microphone work? I guess if people are not comfortable, I won't put them on the spot. But if anyone feels comfortable just sharing where they are from, perhaps, and whether the information session helped them gain the knowledge that they were looking for.
I am comfortable speaking. I guess I was probably having some technical difficulties.
Okay.
I hope, okay. Thankfully, everyone can hear me now.
Yes.
Yeah, hello, I'm Zareen. I am doing my bachelor's in science in computer engineering at McNeese State University in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I have been here enrolled in this college for 4 years, but I am an international student. I am from Bangladesh originally.
Okay.
And thank you for asking the questions. It did help me. I do have one more question for you. I wanted to ask if the assistantships in general, teaching or graduate, come with a tuition waiver or a remission for master's students.
So yes, so the first answer to that question is they do. There is another part of it, which is that for master's student, unless the competition is extremely stiff for these. So let's talk about two pieces, right? There is a graduate assistantship that is purely research based. And that is actually given by faculty. You have to talk directly to the faculty. They have to be convinced that you can do the research that they are interested in doing, and then they offer you. If they offer you, yes, it comes with tuition remission and a pretty hefty stipend. And if you are now, the other is teaching assistant. Teaching assistant positions, we are again very competitive, but they are offered by the department, and the preference is the rate preference is first we provide to the PhD students, and then we provide to the master's students. Typically, master's students, if they get it, we don't give them in their first as a with the admission. Typically, it happens they are here and then they showcase their ability to be a good teaching assistant, and some faculty recommend, and if that's the case, then it can happen. But in general, for master's students, it's very, very competitive.
Thank you for the answer.
Sure. Thank you for introducing yourself. Rushika, you have your hand up. I presume you're okay with just sharing some thoughts or introducing yourself.
Yeah, hello. Nice meeting everyone. I'm Rishika. I recently finished my undergrad in electrical engineering at Purdue University, and I'm planning to do my master's in computer engineering. And I'm very interested in the EC department at Rutgers, and I've done a lot of research on the current ongoing project that's going on in Rutgers, and it really interested me. And yeah, that's just a little bit introduction about me.
Okay, thank you. And did the information session help you with any question that you were interested in?
Yes, it really did help me. I've also been following the EC page on Instagram as well as LinkedIn. So that really gave me insights on what's the day-to-day activities and day-to-day what's happening in the department.
Yeah,
And I did, yeah. And I did talk to a few PhD students and master students who are currently enrolled in the program just to learn more about the department and the projects they're working on and all of that kind of stuff.
That's wonderful to hear. Yeah, and that's all thanks to Miss Yu and her team that keeps the page updated. So thank you to that entire team. Anyone else interested in sharing any of the thoughts? I won't put anyone on the spot.
People can also always put it in the chat if
Yes.
that's better for them.
Yeah, you can also introduce yourself just in the chat. Just write your name and where you're from and whether you got the answers or not. I'll let everyone maybe think for one more minute if they have any questions. Otherwise, we'll wrap up the information session. But Katie, would you like to add anything further? I'm sure you have a lot of things to add, so I'll probably hand over the floor to you.
Yeah, I guess the main thing that I have to add is that we're really excited to see what you all bring to the program. We love getting students from all different backgrounds and all different experiences and see how we could all learn together, both in a classroom environment and just in the department in general. So I would definitely encourage you to apply and showcase what you can bring to the department. And we're looking forward to receiving applications. And if you ever have any questions along the way, definitely reach out to me. You'll be receiving an email after this session with the recording and the slides. So you'll be able to contact me from there.
Wonderful. Okay, looks like I think we are kind of done here. So thank you everyone for joining. We hope that you got excited about the program, and we look forward to